Hey y'all, so I wanted to tell you a story because I had a quick little story time, and it's something that I had been reading about all day, listening to all day, but it's a good little story time, and I hope that you find it entertaining. And it's just a little bit of a music story time. There was this man, right? Let me set the stage. The stage is post slavery era Mississippi. There were people working as sharecroppers. Basically, they're not slaves no more and they're sharecropping, but that's the era that they're in. Now, it was said that for men that did not want to be living that life anymore and they rather have an easier life, what they tend to do is they tend to get into music. So they'll travel around to different juke joints, and when they travel around, they make money by music. Now, this doesn't mean that they were really good musicians or if they were average musicians or if they were not even good at all. But this is something that they did. There's this guy. His name was Robert Johnson. Robert, he was not a very good musician. He was traveling, getting money, and I guess at one time that he performed, he seen this lady. He ended up getting with this lady. They ended up getting married, and then after they got married, he was going back to singing and stuff like that, whatever. She ended up getting pregnant, and it was said that after 8 months of her being pregnant, she was like, "Oh, you need to stop singing. You're gonna have to come here and be a sharecropper and live on a plantation with me." So I don't know how long it took for him to came to the realization that he has to be a dad now. He can't be doing this no more. But after she was 8.5 months pregnant, she finally said, "Enough is enough. You gotta come home." She ended up going into labor, and when she went into labor, he wasn't there. And he was making his way back, but he wasn't there. And it was said that she died during childbirth, and by the time he got there, they were already buried. So her and the baby was buried by the time he got back. And because of that, her family was blaming him for her not making it through her labor. They felt that he was the reason why she died. Because back then they thought that the blues music was the devil music, and they thought that people that did music was evil. So he ended up, I guess they made him feel really bad about it, and then he just got back into his music, and he started going to more juke joints and listening to the different artists and kind of wanted to play with them, and they would always make him feel like he's in the way. So he decided, I don't want them to make me feel like I'm not good enough anymore. It's over with. So it was said that he went into a bar. He tried to help them, and when they felt like when they made him feel like he wasn't wanted there anymore, he disappeared. So a quick side note, they say that the origins of Crossroads being like put into the equations is kind of like like metaphorical for you have to pick between good and evil, and what are you gonna pick. But it said that they practice this in hoodoo. So in those areas, it's known that the people that were former slaves used their religion from when before they got there. So with all that being said, they believed that people would go to the crossroads and ask the devil for something. The devil will give them a contract, and that contract is you selling your soul. Okay, so are you gonna sell your soul for it? people that go to the Crossroads, they're not in the part of the decision where they're thinking about it. They already want to do it. So they go to the Crossroads. They meet a man. So it was said that he went to the Crossroads. He met a big black man. The black man asked to see his guitar. When he got the guitar in his hand, the black man he tuned it and he played a couple of songs. And after he tuned it and played a couple of songs, he asked the man. He said, "If I give you this guitar, you belong to me. Your soul belongs to me." And then he asked him, he said, "Do you want this guitar?" He said yes. He took the guitar and he was gone for a year. Now, they don't know where he went for that year. Like that, they don't know. But part of the legend is that once you make that agreement, that's not, your soul is not just that as payment. You have to do the bidding for him. So what he did within that year, we don't know what he did. We don't know what he did. We can't speculate on what he did, but they just know that he turned back up. And when he turned back up, he went back to the place where they laughed at him and they said he was in the way. And he played there. And everybody was in shock because they're like, there was no way that he left the way he left, playing how he was playing. And he's back within a year, and now he knows how to play better than any of us. So because they practice hoodoo, in those like the Mississippi Delta area, they automatically thought he went to the Crossroads. And then I think later on he made a song about going to the Crossroads, and he wrote about it, right? So when he got back, he was better. He was going to different places. He played different places, and he was very famous in like the Miami Delta area. It's like he was famous. He was doing show. Okay, so by this time, Robert was 27. All this happened. It started when he was 18. When he was 18, he lied about his age so that he could get into these juke joints to sing or whatever. When he was married to his lady was 15. I think she was 15. He was 18, and she died before any of that happened. So, so by the time he got into some trouble, he was 27. He was on his way. Well, he was actually at a juke joint and he was playing. And by this time, he was a little famous. So, he was feeling himself. He went to the juke joint to play, and I guess he seen this lady that he liked, and he was cocky about it, and he was disrespectful in front of her boyfriend. So, back then, whenever you wanted to buy liquor, you bought a whole bottle. So, he gave the bartender $7. He asked for a bottle of whiskey. He got the bottle of whiskey, but when he got it, it wasn't sealed. And everybody was telling him, you don't need to be drinking that. It's not sealed. Anybody could have put anything in there, and you don't know what people do, so you shouldn't be drinking that. And they were like, that's how they were raised. Well, he was still going to put it to his mouth. And when he did that, somebody from out the crowd tried to knock it over so he wouldn't drink it. And he turned around to them, and he was like, who did that? He was like, don't you ever knock nothing out of my hand, and especially not no $7 bottle of whiskey. That's what we not about to do. So he picked it up, he drank it, and about 2 hours later, he was feeling sick. He was feeling so sick. He was feeling like really bad. So when he got home, he was throwing up. It was bad, right? It was said that it took him 3 days to die. The whole time he was sick, and come to find out it was poison. And they said that because he was lusting after this lady, that's why he, got killed. But then they start talking about the 27 Club, and he was a part of the 27 Club. So you have, who did they say? What's his name? Not Bob Marley. What's his name? So the 27 Club is artists that died when they're 27. So you have Jimi Hendrix, he died when he was 27. Janis Joplin, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse. I mean, all these people are said to be act kind of strange, and they all may have had dealings with drugs, all kind of stuff, but they didn't make it past 27. So that's the 27 Club. And what ended up happening is about 2 weeks later, there was this, I want to say, he was like a label executive, somebody like a label executive. And he went around to different like blues artists, and because he wanted to, so let me back up a little bit. He loved blues and he wanted to make it a thing. He wanted to make it popular. So he went around America to find different blues artists, and he heard of Robert Johnson. So he sent somebody to Mississippi to go and recruit him and bring him back out there. And they were going to do a concert at Carnegie Hall. And when they ended up getting there, they found out 2 weeks before that he had passed. So he wasn't able to, so what ended up happening is they still had the concert at Carnegie Hall, but they had got this huge record player, and then they played some of his music, and the people that were there, they loved his music, and they were like, oh my goodness, his music is good. It didn't do as well as it could have done at first, because back then, in order for you to be a popular music artist, you have to do a whole bunch of shows and go everywhere. And because he died, he didn't have that chance. So his music didn't get spread around like, everybody else's and stuff like that. But it ended up getting that way. And he did some phenomenal guitar work, strings and all that, to where they feel like he was like one of the founders of blues. And people use his music now in a whole bunch of different, a whole bunch of different artists. He uses his music in different, genres. It's not just blues anymore. And so he's known for that, you know what I'm saying? But, so he was known for that, but we don't know what the truth is. I've been seeing a lot of conspiracies lately about record labels and sacrifices, and it not being like just diddy parties, but it's ritualistic initiations and all kind of stuff. Yeah, I went through a rabbit hole, and it just reminded me, because all you hear now is just everything's so demonic, and it's not because of freakiness. It's just like a ritualistic cult stuff going on with Diddy now. And I don't know. But I just know this. I always felt that music is powerful. Music has the ability to change your mood, change your frequency. When I listen to music, it vibrates through me. And I feel that something that has as much power as it has to change your mood or induce memories. I don't know if you noticed when you listen to your favorite song, the effect that it has on you before you listen to it and then after you finish listening to it. How do you feel now? All that stuff I've noticed. I'm hypersensitive to that type of thing. And I believe there's something to it. I know that it can have an effect on your life. And it's like a lot of it is not conscious. You're not consciously aware of it. You're remembering the song. You love the way it sounds. You remember the beat. You remember everything about the song because you connect with it on that level. And if something does that, then of course, if there are messages in the song, then it has the ability to change how you feel about certain things. It's not something that you're just gonna notice right away. And it's just if you just stop to see how this music is making you feel before you listen to it and how you feel afterwards, you're gonna see the influence that it has on your life. You definitely will. From the lyrics, you memorizing certain lyrics you never memorized. It's that deep. I just wanted to do that quick story time and kind of just, I don't know. I heard the story. I knew about it for a while. And I thought that it would be a cool little story time since it is like alleged. And so it fitting for the time that we're in right now. I just want that to be something that we think about when we choose what we listen to, what we feed our soul. You know what I'm saying? I enjoyed this time with you guys. I hope that I get to see you again soon. Happy New Year. And I hope to do another story time like this soon because I liked it. All right, see you in my next video, y'all.